What's good? What's good, people? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house, back in the saddle. One more again, rocking one of my other virtual backgrounds here. I kind of like this one, or the other one I like maybe a little bit better, but we just kind of messing around here. I hit that like, that comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Hey, man, look here, man. It's the holiday season, it's Thanksgiving season. Hope everybody had a great, wonderful Thanksgiving. I know on Thursday, my Thanksgiving season got a little better. All right. And then on yesterday, it got even better than that. If you know what I'm talking about, man. So anyway, man, I know I went on early Thanksgiving and I put out, a free video and I had my keys to victory versus the Chiefs. Uh Keys to the victory, and I would like to say it was like five of them. I think we hit on four of them. Let me see here. Let me see here. If you give Dak, if you give Dak time, get time to throw, and we get five stops, no turnovers, run the ball, control the line of scrimmage, I think we could win. Well, let's go down this list and see, did we do those said things? And then what did I say? 27-24 end up being what? 31-28. So I had the right margin, but we scored a little more and they scored a little more, but it was exactly the same amount. And I kind of thought it would be where we got the ball last and Aubrey kicked the game winning field goal to go up 20. It was 24-24 when we kick a field goal. And little did I know that we'd be up 10 and Pat would come down, score a touchdown, and we get the ball down and snuff their tails out the last 3 minutes. And he never he's sitting on the sideline chewing on his mouthpiece, wanting let me get back in there. And Dak said, can't give you this ball back. Can't give you this ball. So I'll have to understand I'm rocking my Alabama today too, because it's Iron Bowl Saturday. So you know what time it is. Iron Bowl Saturday. Alabama's taking on the Auburn Tigers today. So yeah, we're rocking the Crimson Tide today. So sir, in about 6:30, that's where your boy gonna be, right in front of the TV set, watching the Iron Bowl. All right. So let's get into that. So let's get into these stats here. Not stats, but these keys. And I said, you can't go into this thing uh with any type of, like trepidation, but you do realize you are facing Andy, you facing Pat, and you facing Spags. Them dudes are the best at what they do at their specific jobs. I think right now Andy Reid's probably the best coach in the league. I mean, him or McVay. I think you could kind of make an argument for each. It's no doubt Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, probably the best we've seen in 30 years, talent wise. There's just some things he can do no other human being can do. That play he made with in the fourth quarter on 3rd and 6, rolling out to the right, got tackled basically and kept his balance, and was able to make an off balance throw 43 yards down the field to Worthy. Ain't a dude in the history of the NFL can make that freaking throw, but that dude. So that nobody is saying anything about that. And of course, Spags is one of the best defensive guys in the league. He got Dak on his first throw. That he gave him a blitz from that corner, from that safety position that he didn't expect. Rushed his throw, kind of like got up under his arm where he couldn't get anything on the throw. Forced a pick, very first throw. Spags was in his bag. But I like that Dak settled down, whatever. So that goes the no turnover thing. So that one's off the table. So if we look at the list, and I kept the list from Thursday. Uh, it says how we can win, control the line of scrimmage. Okay, I thought we ran the ball well. You know, uh, and I thought we had interior pressure on Mahomes all day. Every time I looked up, Mahomes was getting up off of his behind because that internal pressure. Now Mahomes broke contain rushed for a lot of yards. I think he rushed for like 40 yards in this game. So we didn't do a complete job, but I do know that that pressure in up the middle was one of the things that helped make sure that we won on Thursday. So I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage, fairly well on that. So I'll give you that one. That maybe I half a point on that one because I thought that he broke contain and ran for more than he should have. Shoot, I'll tell you right here. Hmm, Let's see here. Yeah, Mahomes ran for 30 yards. Had 3 carries for 30 yards. Had a 16-yard run and like a 10, 12-yard run. All of them were for first downs. So he did his thing, man. He did his thing. You know, but we rushed for 137 yards on 26 carries, which is 5.3 yards a carry. So that's why I was saying. And then I think we had about like 9 pressures. We sacked him 3 times. So I do feel like we did control the line of scrimmage, right? So I think we did do that. So I'll take that back. We get that whole point for that. Okay. I said if we get 5 stops, look on the stats. Chiefs punted the ball 5 times. Okay, that's 5 stops. I feel like if we can get 5 stops against most teams, I think we can win the game because I don't think many teams gonna be able to, keep us from scoring if we can get 5 stops. I also said if we can get pass protection. Dak was not sacked one time. Now I know that they blitzed him on several times because that's what Spagnuolo does. He's the blitz master and he blitzes from several different areas. He may blitz from the corner. I mean, that's been times McDuffie, who they best cover corner, comes off the edge and comes because you're not expecting him to be there, And then sometimes, like he got us on that first pass play. I think it was like 3rd down and 5 or whatever on the first drive. He came off of the right edge. But it was in the safety slot, right in that slot. Nobody picked him up, and he got a clean shot, and he was able to affect the throw. The throw didn't have anything on it. It was an interception. So, but I like that we was able to make adjustments and it didn't happen anymore. But yeah, we got 5 stops, no turnovers. Well, we obviously missed that one. Run the ball, like I said, ran for 137 yards. We did like 4 of them, and we won, and we beat the Chiefs, and we beat Andy, Pat, and Spags. Like I said, Pat was superhuman, but we won the game anyway. So, um, but yeah, and so I'm happy. That's a third straight win. We had 3 wins coming into last Monday night's game against the Raiders. We had 3 wins coming into that, and now we got 3 more wins to add to it. And so I'm pretty happy about that. Now, does that mean we're going to the playoffs? I don't know. I still think we got work to do. I still think we have, because I still think this team can get better offensively. I like where we're at offensively. I think and if you notice in that game, we kind of there was times in the game where Lamb was utilized, and then times in the game when Pickens was utilized. And I thought it was important that they got CD Lamb into the game early in the game because what that does, I think somebody mentioned it. I want to say it was Vosh Lombardi on his Crown Global channel, where he and Brothers were saying many times when you had Dez Bryant back when we had him, you had to get him in the game early. You had to get him, making him feel like he's part of the game early, and then the dividends will pay off later. You can't like not go to him early and then come back, because he's not in the game. So some receivers are just like that, right? So they was going to him early. I saw some dump off passes to him, screens to him, slants to him. And then, I think when the Chiefs went up the third quarter, 21-20, we was backed up on our own end zone. Dak went up top to CD. I think it was like a 50-yard completion to get us, in the Chiefs territory. And then, he made that throw because he'd been engaged the whole time. Now, up until that time, I think they said that Pickens had like 2 catches for 20 yards. And then what did they say that for? The next thing you know, Pickens on the slant, Pickens on the slant, Pickens on the slant. And then there was this play, and I gotta show y'all this one. And if I can see if I can remember how to do this thing here. Hang on a second, because this. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I want y'all to see this. And all right. Bing video. Yeah, here you go right here. I don't know if the video gonna be there or not, but we're gonna share it. This is stuff I just gotta show y'all this. I don't know if the audio gonna be there or not, but you watch this play right here. Here we go. 3rd down and 8. Chiefs got the ball 21-20. Watch this play. And let me put this in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Pickens going down the sideline. Watch this right here. Look at that. They're going to show it to you again.
Block before. Watch
but
this.
Look at this. Oof.
Let's see that again.
Nobody's helping over the top over here.
3rd and 8. Here comes the blitz. Yeah, you saw it, Tony. There's Pickens, who pirouettes around the defender and takes off past Edwards. Oh, my gosh. What a leap that was. That was insane.
Oh, you can't really block before.
Watch
but
this.
Look at this. Oof.
All right. All right. So let's get back to the video. So I just want y'all to see that right there. And that's just special right there, man. And what Pickens was able to do. And so get back to my stuff here. There we go. Back to my normal stuff. And so yeah, that I thought that was special. Pickens was able to do that right there. And what I want people to understand too, and so there's a couple things. Then I want to show y'all this too. Because if y'all noticed on my channel, on the title of my video, the heartbeat of this team is different. I'm going to show y'all I'm going to do this again too. I'm getting a little better at this. But this was something that was said, and it just, it made me have goosebumps in the locker room, man. When we start looking at the mindset of our team, and that what team we were when the season started, what team we were about mid-season, then about the time we got some of the some of the cavalry back, being Overshown, Ravel, and some of those guys, and then Quinnan. I felt like we became a different team. But don't just listen to me saying it. Your head coach said the same thing. I'll just check this out. Share this one too. All right, here we go. Here we go right here. Hope it's no commercial. It might be. Let me get hang on, let me make sure that the thing is. I don't know if y'all be able to hear this or not, but I'm gonna let you hear it. If you try to let y'all hear it if you can. Let's see here. All right. Here we go. Put it down here. Here I am at the bottom. And away we go.
The heartbeat is different. Is that true? or is that just coach speech?
Here we go.
It's true.
Okay, let me back it up because this is on Boss's thing. Here we go.
Hey, listen up. Hey, how about those last 4 days? How about those last 4 days? The heartbeat of this football team is different. Say that again. The heartbeat of you men, this team is different.
So the heartbeat of this team is different. Last 4 days been something else for this team. And it's a mindset because there's this effort being made. There was times when the team was going on earlier in the season where guys wouldn't make plays. They would let guys run wide open. There were plays I saw in this game where Patrick Mahomes was sitting there holding the ball. And I'm like, dang, why is he holding the ball? And you look in the secondary, and guys just weren't letting guys get open. Man, shout out to Siobhan Ravel, man. This is a guy playing his third NFL game. After having not played football in about, like, I don't know, 15 months since September of 2024. Never seen any NFL action at all. And he got thrown in there against Rashee Rice. Now, Rashee Rice made some plays. I think he had 8 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. But in some of the high leverage moments, there was a play right there, and he was like, I'm not letting you have anything. And he had to hold the ball, and it forced Mahomes to have to take a sack, a couple of them, because it's just worth nowhere to throw the football. So that gives me encouragement, because one of the things I didn't have issues with it. It's just that I felt like one of our weaknesses, is our cornerback position. Not according to talent, but according to experience. You running guys out there and that have, him and Kalen Carson, who got hurt his hamstring, came back, because I kept seeing 25 out there, and I'm like, why is uh uh the Queasy Bridges out there, but he started to play better. Now, Reddy Richards is a player. I like him. I like him in some of the extra packages and stuff like that, because he can cover a little bit, but I know one thing: he will tackle you. Okay, and I have seen him come on blitzes and things like that, run blitzes and things like that. So I do like him. But I felt like, now from what I understand, when we come into this game, and I'm gonna talk about that here in just a minute, that Diggs is still supposed to be back for that game. Now, I know a lot of people, he's a lightning rod for most of y'all in the that follow the Cowboys, because a lot of people feel like, even a lot of the content people don't like Diggs. Think Diggs did. I feel like, dang, y'all act like Diggs did something to y'all. Because everywhere from how the front office handled him and his rehab, and the stuff they were talking about in relation to the rehab and stuff like that, I felt like some of that stuff wasn't warranted. Um, and I think it cast some aspersions, and it cast some feelings with the people, fans, about him. It made us dislike him, and I think that was by design. And so then when this particular situation happened about a month ago, where whatever happened, we don't know what happened, and what he had some sort of concussion worthy situation that happened at his home that nobody seems to know about. Um, you know, and so a lot of people was like, well, shoot, good riddance. I'm like, dude, good riddance. Dude, we're starting a guy that ain't played football in a year back there. You don't think we could use Diggs in his experience? You know? So supposedly he's got cleared to play come Thursday. So we'll see what happens with that. Um, I'll welcome him. shoot, the more players you have, that back there in the secondary, for me, the better. I'm not, you know, I'm not tripping on it, myself. So I feel like we could use him. You know what I'm saying? So um, yeah, I feel like we could use him in terms of getting help back there, and stuff like that. So anyhow, but yeah, shout out to and see, we still got to get Butler, Josh Butler back. He was a dude that I thought showed a lot of promise last year for us. Playing in because we had everybody get hurt in the secondary last year. Diggs got hurt, Bland got hurt. Uh, Kalen Carson got hurt after the Baltimore game. Never saw him again the rest of the season. He's starting to play back now. And so Josh Butler got to play. He had some nice snaps, had some good coverage. Then he got hurt towards the end of the season, and he's not back yet. So we're looking to get him back. So if we can get some of those guys back, I would feel a little better about what our secondary looks. Because what I'm looking at is that if we make the playoffs, at some point you're gonna have to play the Rams, okay, with Puka Nakua, uh, Devontae Adams, and Matt Stafford. You want some good cover guys back there, okay? And if you might have to play Seattle, Sam Bradford, not Sam Bradford, Sam Darnold. They got Cooper Cup, uh, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they just got Shaheed from the Saints. So a very potent wide receiver group. You might want to have some good corner cover corners, back there covering them. So that's where I'm looking ahead. It's like, oh, you don't want us to get to the playoffs? No, but I don't want us to get to the playoffs and be one and done and be going home as soon as we get there, just to say we made the playoffs. I want to get to the playoffs and win a couple of games and maybe see if we can sniff the NFC Championship game, something we ain't seen in 30 years, right? And so, so anyway, man, that's all I'm saying about that, man. And so let's look at the stats. I'm gonna go back to the stat sheet and look at some of the stats for the game. Um, and the Dak won the John Madden Player of the Game award. I know he had that one interception, but he had a bunch of like big time throws. His final stats was 27 out of 39. He had 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Had a quarterback rating at 85.9, and a QBR 85.9, and a quarterback rating, which is 100.4. All right, and you know it's interesting how that QBR works because Patrick Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, but yet Dak had a higher QBR, but a lesser rating. I think that's kind of interesting how that thing is tabulated. And then Javonte Williams, who I thought ran the ball, well, but they kind of stacked the box on us a little bit. But I liked it that Shotty kept running the football, right? So he had 17 carries for 59 yards, with the longest being 11. But Malik Davis, I've been clamoring for a running back too. We thought it would be Jaden Blue, but for some reason he's not been able to get on the field. And so Malik Davis, who they just called up from the practice squad, he was called up from home, being at home because he had got cut for a while ago. They called him back up on the practice squad, so he was at home. He ended up going like 3 carries for 47 yards, including a 43-yard touchdown run in the second quarter to tie the game up at 14-14. To give us a lead, 17-14. I'm sorry. Um, we got some good runs from Cavante Turpin, which I guess Shotty was saying, y'all ain't gonna tell me how to run my team, because people was on his neck for running Cavante Turpin out the backfield and him, stumbling into, on his feet and running into the guard and fumbling the football in that Eagles game, which led to, Eagles getting the fumble recovery and being up, 30, 21-0. So he pitched one to him yesterday or Thursday, and he ended up getting a nice 25-yard run out of it, and in the third quarter that got us, you know, you know, led to our our touchdown in the third quarter. Got us back ahead. You know, and so we're looking for that. And so like I said, we had 26 carries for 137 yards and one touchdown, the longest being 43 yards, stuff like that. On defense, we like I said, we had a bunch of pressures. But Jadeveon Clowney had 2 sacks and 2 quarterback hits, 2 sacks. Marion Overshown had 6 tackles, 2 solos. Savon Rafael had 6 tackles. Quentin Williams had a couple of solo tackles, had 1 quarterback hit. I think he had a lot of pressures and a lot of Odigazua had a quarterback hit. We had 9 quarterback hits in the game. Okay. So I don't know if you call all of those pressures because a lot of times pressures don't always result in hits, but we had 9 quarterback hits on Patrick Mahomes' how many throws? 34 throws. He had 9 hits and he got sacked 3 times. So I thought we did pretty good in that, right? But I think I want to talk about Dak Prescott, who, lightning rod for a lot of our Cowboy fans. I don't know if many of you watched the nightcap episode where they had Oso Digazua on there, and he was talking about the game Thursday, and I guess they got him on there Thursday night after the game, and he was talking about the game and about how everybody's playing and how much of an impact Marshawn Neeland had on everyone, and how he's missed it. Prayers up to his family who's still dealing with that. This is still fresh, his mind and the players' mind, and I'm sure on his family's mind. So we'll never want to forget, him and and what happened, that tragic thing that happened about 3 weeks ago. But one thing he did say is that Shannon always wants to say like how Dak always coming up short and this kind of thing. And I like it how Odigazua stood up for his quarterback. Said, "No, I'm not tolerating any Dak Prescott slander." Y'all might want to check that nightcap episode out because I know Attack on Cowboys covered it, and he was saying some of the same thing. He's like, "No, I'm not allowing any Dak Prescott slander while you got me on here. I'm not gonna tolerate it." He said, "I've been thinking this. I've been standing on this hill, dying on this hill ever since I got here." He said, "Dak's been one of those guys, been a great leader, and for the most part, we have let him down. He's always the first guy here, always lifts everybody up." And he said, "For most time, we've not lifted him up. We've not, given him anything, in games, especially in the playoffs. A lot of us has not played well." He said, "But last time it don't be his fault." He said, "Sometimes he's not played well, but when you look at it, we hadn't played well either." He said, "So you ain't gonna get no Dak Prescott slander on my watch, as long as I'm here." And he let them know that. He said it on a couple of occasions. He said, "No, you ain't gonna say nothing about my quarterback on my show, on the show, and have me on here." So I like that he stood behind his guy, and I like how Dak's playing. And all I'm gonna say is that if you just give Dak a little talent, he can do some stuff. I think Dak's proven to himself he still has always been best quarterback in the division. I don't care what kind of accomplishments you have in terms of team success. Nobody will ever say that the Cowboys have had the most talent of any teams in the division because they've not. They don't have the best talent now. It's not even close. Okay, but Dak is willing what he's got to given with a secondary option, and he's able to make that work. They're still not deep in the offensive line, as some of these other teams. They're not deep in running back as some of these other teams. They're not deep on defense like some of these other teams that they're gonna have to play. And you're in the same division with Howie Roseman. You got to build a team like they build them, or you're gonna fall behind. So soon as you give Dak a viable number 2 option, now he gets to eat like Jared Goff gets to eat. Now he gets to eat like Matt Stafford gets to eat. Now he gets to eat like Jalen Hurts gets to eat. Now he gets to eat like uh, 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 Josh Allen gets to eat. But you got options on both sides of the field. You got I'm not going to game with CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown. I'm not going into a game with CeeDee Lamb and uh, 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 what's his name? Brandon Cooks, who I love Brandon Cooks, but Brandon Cooks is 5'10", 185 pounds. Okay. And then in them games when CD is covered or CD's having one of his little moments, this is what I'm saying. In most games on Thanksgiving, like what we had on Thanksgiving, we would have been throwing opposite CD Lamb with Ryan Flanoy, who would be opposite of CD Lamb. And we would not be winning these games. Okay. Ryan Flanoy would be going against single coverage and would not be able to get separation and would be getting balls knocked down and would be getting balls tipped and be getting interception. Okay. So that's the point I'm trying to make, that when you decided to go sacrifice a third round pick, now I don't know why the Steelers decided to do that, because that boy's special. Pickens is special. If they knew what we know now, they would have said, oh no, I ain't taking nothing less than a first round pick for him. And maybe we don't offer that for Pickens and they get to keep him. But we could have done that years ago, but they weren't willing to pull the trigger on a deal like that. So we went opposite of CeeDee Lamb with Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, guys like that, and T.Y. Hilton. And we're supposed to be able to defeat good defenses, Spagnola-led defenses, D'Amico Ryans-led defenses, okay, against, with one dude. Now we got two dudes in Dak Eaton, and you can't stop him, okay? So, that's all I'm saying. I'm going to get off that soapbox right now. I'm going to enjoy this win. But we got we can't rest on our laurels. We got the Detroit Lions, who let me down on Thursday because I thought they was going to beat Green Bay, and they did not. Offensively, they're not playing their best football right now, even with all the immense talent they've got. I've read somewhere that maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown won't play. That's certainly a shame. He's one of my favorite receivers to watch. Looks like I think he got corner one of his linemen, I think, got rolled up on him, turned his ankle. So I think it may be a game time decision whether he'll play or not. But they're actually not playing well. Even without him, you still got your hands full because Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jameson Williams. They got a guy named Tesla who's pretty good. So you still got your hands full. But what I like about my team with the Cowboys is that if you don't get pressure on Dak Prescott, if our offensive line can hold up, I don't care who you roll out there. I think we can score. I think we can move the football. We had, go back to the screen here. I think we had like almost 500 yards against the Chiefs. Let me see here. Let's see what these team stats say. Pulling up my stat sheet here. Total yards, 457. Coming off of 479 against the Eagles. This is like some of the best defenses and we was able to with good cornerback play. Didn't the Eagles have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and Adoree Jackson, and don't they have Andrew Makuba and Reed Blankenship at safety and that kind of stuff? Yeah, they got guys back there, and Vic Fangio, right? And we still almost had 500 yards on them. And they got pressure. They sacked us once, and they pressured us a few times. Playing Steve Spagnuolo on Thursday, with Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, two probably the top 5 best corner tandems in the NFL. How many defensive PIs did we draw on them? I think they had like 3 or 4 of them in the fourth quarter on Pickens and on Lamb, where they couldn't cover them. and they got multiple PI calls. Now you can say, "Oh, they big." No, they couldn't cover him. So when you can't cover a guy, you rather, hey, I'm gonna grab him. Maybe the ref don't see it, but the ref seen it, and he made his calls. And so we played against the Lions on Sunday, and they got some nice pieces in the secondary. Branch is back there at safety. Terron Arnold, which I like somewhat, Roll Tide, but he's not good as McDuffie or Quinyon Mitchell. He's not good as those guys. And they're missing some dudes. I think Kirby Joseph is not playing at safety. And Kevin Shepard, I think that's the defensive coordinator. He's having to do some mix and matching in the secondary on the defense. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, if they don't get pressure, if Aiden Hutchinson and Keely McNeil and some of those guys don't get pressure, I don't care who they put out there. I think Lamb and Pickens and Ferguson are gonna eat. Ferguson had a pretty decent game as well. Pass, but he didn't get his second foot down. Amid all those feet that was down there, he couldn't get them down, so he had to settle for a field goal there. But anyway, yeah, we got the Lions. They gotta have this game. We gotta have that game. It's gonna be probably one of the best Thursday night games that Prime Video is ever gonna show. Gonna probably have the biggest viewership. Man, I want to know what the Nielsen ratings were for that Thursday night game, man. The Thanksgiving game with the Chiefs and the Cowboys. They're saying that it approached 50 million viewers. And if that's the case, do you know that's like 1/5 of the United States population of like a little over 300 million? And if 50 million of them, uh, or 1/6 or whatever, 1/5 or 1/6 of the whole population was watching that game, this lets you know that we turned the needle and the Chiefs turned the needle and that sort of thing. But and the Lions are one of those teams too because they're just fun to watch, and they turn the needle too because of how they play and the stars they have. And the Cowboys are just the Cowboys. They turn the needle because they've got a lot of fans and there are a lot of people that hate us. The haters are kind of quiet right now. But here, this is one thing I want y'all to know: we win that game. We're 7-5-1. And we don't look now. This smells like 2023. And it looks like we got a chance to run down this division. But we got to take care of our business first. Okay. We got to do our business before we start trolling and making comments about other teams. We got to handle our business. So we beat the Lions and then we can talk our trash. But let's not talk before we got nothing to talk about. But I know one thing, like Schottenheimer said, the heartbeat of this team is different. And I feel like Cowboys are going to go into Ford Field and play their best game. Now, whether that's going to result in a victory or not, I don't know, but I'm predicting the Cowboys victory. I'm saying the Cowboys win 34-30 and they go to 7-5-1. Okay. Um, Now I will say this. Eagles lost on yesterday. Went against my picks. On my pick segment, I had the Eagles winning that. And it pained me to pick the Eagles, right? But I'm going by, the team I think has the best talent. Eagles aren't playing good football right now. And a lot of times it's not how good you are, it's how well you're playing. And they're not playing well right now. There was offensively, they weren't playing well because, they're getting better, only getting 12, 15 points a game. But the defense was making that stand up. They made that stand up against Green Bay. They made that stand up against Detroit. But when they played the Cowboys, that wasn't able to stand up. We was able to score 24 straight, and they couldn't score in the second half. Didn't even get in the red zone in the second half, right? So the game yesterday, they scored 15 points, but a lot of that was late, and there was a lot of throws. I mean, it wasn't really a good game to be doing a lot of offensive stuff because the wind and the wind and stuff was gusting. Caleb Williams didn't play good for the Bears either. But what I'm starting to notice is that starting to rub off on the other part team, which I thought was solid. They're not able to. Do you not know that the Bears ran for over 200 yards on them? They had two running backs to run for 100 yards. Now, DeAndre Swift, I kind of understood because he used to play for the Eagles, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna kick me to the curb for Saquon," which I don't blame the Eagles. I like uh, DeAndre Swift. I wouldn't mind having DeAndre Swift play for us. He'd be at other back to help out, Javonte Williams. But, I think he ended up with like 120 yards and I think a touchdown. But this other cat, I can't even think of his name. He also had 100 yards. Then Saquon came back and had him a 100-yard game also. But you never will think the Eagles would give up over 200 yards rushing. So sometimes, man, that thing becomes contagious. When guys aren't playing well on one side, it starts to become contagious on the other side. But now they still got 5 games to play. Now you 8-4, you got 5 games to play. You got to play at the Chargers and at Buffalo. You got the Commanders twice, and then I don't know who the other game's against. Dude, you lose one more game. Yeah, I feel like you're going to lose at Buffalo because Buffalo needs that game. Dude, you lose one more game, and we can kind of hold our own, and I'm not saying that's what we're going to do. I'm saying it ain't about how good you are, it's how good you playing. And I'm just saying, this NFC East thing just got just a little bit more interesting, didn't it? All right. Anyway, man, that's all I got, man, for today. And I'm gonna get ready for this Iron Bowl. So, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, man, go Cowboys. We're gonna win. Thursday, 34-30. And I look for us to be able to move the football, but I look for the Lions to be able to move the football too. But if we can get 4 or 5 stops in that game, I feel like we got a shot to win that game and everything. And Cowboy fans, feel good about yourself. We 6-5-1. Okay, we're over 500 for the first time this season. We've won 3 straight games. Okay, heartbeat of this team is different. I feel like we gonna be in every game we play. Let's see what we can do. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe to the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. Make sure they chats. Any chats? I don't see nothing. Okay, there's nothing there. Okay. All right. Like I said, we'll catch you guys on the next video. Enjoy the rest of your holiday season. We'll holla. Appreciate you guys. Catch you guys on the next video.
Two times on the beat, bitch.